Hi everyone, it's Susan from SusanWinter.net. Thank you for coming to my channel, and for my YouTube family, thank you so much for your kind words. Thank all of you who subscribe. That means a lot to me. I want to talk about something today that has been a really current issue with a lot of my consultation sessions. And so, honestly, sometimes I think these things are like an epidemic, that I am seeing the same thing happen to an entire group of people that I'm working with. The case I'm talking about is the person who was into, boom, gone. Can't do a relationship. I'm confused, I don't know. Or even the partner who is making future plans with you. When you sustain a breakup, when somebody who was there and they pulled you into you being there as well, and they suddenly leave you, the progression of emotions that we go through and the process of us handling this is often depicted by a ditch that we fall into, and it can be for quite some period of time, where we are waiting. We're waiting and hoping. And we are convinced that if we just keep thinking about it and keep waiting and hoping and trying to analyze what went wrong, and were we deficient in some way, and did we not give them what they wanted? We're picking at ourselves, and we're picking at the situation. So we are ruminating, we're obsessing, we're fixated on them, on the relationship, on getting them back. We're waiting and hoping and waiting and hoping and waiting and hoping. And this seems at the time like the correct behavior, because we know enough about metaphysics, about the power of thought, to know that if you're thinking about grandma, just a thought comes through your head about grandma, then boom, grandma calls you, right? We know how it is that you suddenly think about a person and you hear from them. We do understand that thoughts are things, and we do understand that not only do our thoughts affect us and how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about who we are in the world, but also how others perceive us and how we connect in our ethereal way with them, okay? So here is the problem that happens. In every other construct, were you to think about somebody, they would think about you as well, or they would get a sense of you, right? And so we're hoping it applies to the one that got away. And it's actually the opposite. And I think those of you that watch all these videos, oftentimes when I'm talking to you in consultation, you'll say, oh, it's like the Australia story where you're out on the water and the guy finally sends you a message. Yes, exactly. It is the protocol for you. If you are wounded and aching and waiting and hoping, you must move. I know you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to tell you why again. For reasons scientifically that we cannot explain at this moment, that we will have words for in the future. What I do know that happens is when the person who has lost interest, when they are flooded with our obsession, our fixation, our rumination, they somehow are propped up psychically by this energy. And the only moment that you can jar them into a response is when you withdraw it and invest it in yourself. Now, why this works? Don't have the language for it. Does it work? Absolutely. Do I know it works? Yes. And when I urge my clients to do it, and they can commit to it, kind of like a diet, you got to stay on it. You catch yourself when you're going off and you correct yourself. For some reason, the absence of your energy and the willingness for you to move forward is the thing that catalyzes their intrigue or their interest again. And let's face it, where you were when it fractured, it wasn't working for them. Maybe it even wasn't working for you, but when it broke, this was not the correct combination. So you don't want to wait here, frozen, because that place didn't work. You must move forward, and it's a win-win. Here's why. One, you move forward, you count your blessings, you look at the ground gained, you tell yourself, wow, I went this far, I got this much, this is amazing. You focus on the wins. You move forward, you're thankful for what you had. it's not the way you would have liked another outcome, but you know what? This is fine. And you look to the future and you invest in yourself and you look for the positive and you focus on the positive and you try to be present to life, to those moments, to the smell of the air, to the way your little animal, your kitten or your puppy feels, to the eyes of somebody that you love. You try and focus on these things. And as you slowly move from that big ditch that holds you in place of waiting and hoping, suddenly your obsession, your mental, that energy that you were just leaking to this person, your vital life force has evaporated. And then they feel a difference. They feel your absence. And only then do humans sometimes realize what they've lost. One, it is the right movement for you to move forward and to move ahead. Two, when you do that, then and only then can the reconfiguration have a possibility of showing up again new and different. You have to be different. You have to have a little psychological space from where you were. You cannot be in the same place. I've watched people lose months, years, waiting and hoping. And they are so frozen in place and so miserable that were that person to accidentally run into them, they'd be only confirmed that I made the right decision. They're exactly where they were when I left them, and that was not appealing to me. So if you are in this situation, it's counterintuitive. In every other way, your energetic thought would be helpful to create a connection. In this specific instance where a person was hot and then went cold on you, where they were all about you and they lost their interest. If it was a relationship that broke up, your only hope of having a second option to know them again is for you to move forward. And even if it doesn't happen, it's what you have to do anyway. I hope this makes sense to you. I do know that it is true and I do know that it works. And I have watched this happen in so many cases, and you will too. The common way to say this is they come back when you don't think about them, or they come back when you don't care. I'm just being a little more specific about why that happens, but it is true. So it's to your benefit and it's to your ex's benefit. Embrace the new and enhanced you. Be grateful for the time that you've had with them. Move forward in optimism and hope and confidence of what has been achieved. And then the likelihood of a better future is right in front of you. And the likelihood and the greater possibility of them re-examining this is also there as well. Susan Winter for SusanWinter.net. Thank you, all of you that subscribe. Thank you for your notes, for your messages. Thank you, those of you who work with me on Magnify. It is so cool. It's so great. I worked with 2 gals from Qatar. I didn't even know that could happen. It was so amazing. And thank you, those of you that come to my consultation page for the longer 45-minute sessions. That's great. My very best to all of you. Take care now.